In the heart of Central America, a great civilization once flourished. The Maya built towering cities that reached toward the heavens, their pyramids standing as monuments to human ambition. Their markets buzzed with life, their fields yielded abundant harvests, and their scholars mapped the stars. For centuries, they thrived in harmony with the jungle, mastering mathematics, astronomy, and art. But beneath this golden age, the seeds of collapse were quietly sown. As their population grew, the Maya needed more land to feed their people. They began to clear vast stretches of jungle, cutting down trees to make way for farms and settlements. What started as small clearings soon became massive deforestation projects. With each tree that fell, the delicate balance of their ecosystem shifted. The jungle, once their ally, began to retreat, leaving behind barren soil exposed to the relentless sun. Without the protective canopy of trees, the land could no longer hold moisture. Rainwater, once absorbed by thick forest floors, now ran off quickly, carving deep gullies into the earth. The soil, stripped of its roots, dried and cracked under the blazing sun. Rivers that once flowed year-round began to dwindle, their beds turning to dust. The very foundation of Mayan agriculture began to crumble. The Maya had built sophisticated water systems to sustain their cities through dry seasons. Reservoirs carved from stone held precious rainwater, and intricate channels carried it across their lands. But as droughts became more frequent, these systems struggled to keep up. Maintenance became a desperate race against time, as evaporation claimed more water each day. The lifeblood of their civilization was slowly drying up. As crops failed and water grew scarce, hunger began to spread. Families who once enjoyed bountiful harvests now rationed their last kernels of corn. Children cried for food their parents could no longer provide. The joy that once filled Mayan homes was replaced by a quiet desperation. Each day brought new challenges, and hope began to fade like the setting sun. Trade, once the backbone of Mayan prosperity, began to collapse. With failing harvests and dwindling resources, there was little to buy or sell. Marketplaces that once bustled with activity grew quiet. Merchants traveled longer distances for smaller profits, if any at all. The economic foundation of their society was crumbling, leaving communities isolated and vulnerable. As resources became scarce, conflicts erupted between neighboring cities. Warriors who once protected their people from external threats now found themselves fighting over water rights and arable land. Alliances crumbled, and ancient friendships turned to bitter rivalries. The unity that had allowed the Maya to flourish was replaced by suspicion and warfare. The Great Pyramids that had once drawn pilgrims from across the region now stood largely empty. Religious ceremonies continued, but with diminished crowds and fading enthusiasm. Priests who had interpreted the movements of celestial bodies found themselves unable to explain the growing drought. Faith in their spiritual leaders began to waver as prayers went unanswered. The written records of the Maya told stories of abundance and divine favor. But as conditions worsened, these ancient texts seemed to mock their descendants. Scribes continued to carve new inscriptions, but their words rang hollow. The wisdom of their ancestors offered little guidance for a world that seemed to be ending. Knowledge, once a source of strength, became a reminder of what had been lost. As conditions became unbearable, families made the heart-wrenching decision to leave. They packed what little they could carry and prepared to abandon the cities their ancestors had built. Children looked back at homes they would never see again, while elders wondered if they would survive the journey ahead. The Great Migration had begun. Thousands of Maya disappeared into the jungle, seeking refuge in lands they hoped would sustain them. The great cities they left behind fell silent, their plazas overgrown and their temples reclaimed by nature. Those who remained faced an uncertain future, while those who fled ventured into the unknown, carrying only their memories and determination to survive. Within a few generations, the great Mayan cities had vanished beneath a canopy of green. Stone monuments that once echoed with the voices of thousands stood alone, visited only by howler monkeys and tropical birds. The jungle, patient and persistent, reclaimed what had once been taken from it. Nature erased the scars of civilization, leaving only whispers of what had been. Centuries later, archaeologists began to uncover the secrets of the vanished Maya. They found evidence of sophisticated engineering, advanced astronomy, and complex societies. But they also discovered signs of environmental destruction that matched their theories. Tree pollen samples and soil analysis confirmed what the ancient texts had hinted at: the Maya had cut down their own future. Modern research revealed the tragic irony of the Maya collapse. By clearing vast forests, they had fundamentally altered their local climate. Without trees to absorb solar radiation and release moisture, the land became hotter and drier. Rain patterns shifted, droughts intensified, and the very environment that had nurtured their civilization turned against them. They had unknowingly created their own downfall. Today, the story of the Maya serves as a powerful warning about the delicate balance between humanity and nature. Scientists and communities work together to restore damaged ecosystems, planting trees where forests once stood. The lessons of the past echo through modern environmental movements, reminding us that civilizations rise and fall based on how they treat the land that sustains them. The legacy of the Maya lives on in our efforts to heal the earth they once called home.